This is The After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
On the After Party live on Friday. It is lovely to see you on this day, and I barely made it through the Mark Thompson show. We had a lot of technical issues today, so glad that's over with. Hopefully you enjoyed the Catherine Stewart interview, the Michael Schur interview, talking to Michael Snyder. I thought it was a pretty good show. So yeah, let's go to the chat because I can see already that Trevor Starr has popped in with 1010. Thanks, Trevor. He says, Kim, I missed the show yesterday. Finding a home for a sweet little kitty. That is well worth it. Absolutely. Please deem me the winner of Trivia Thursday in absentia. Trevor Starr, for your kindness towards smaller creatures of the planet, you are indeed a winner. I don't know if Trivia Thursday, but a winner in general. How about that? I deem you the winner of Thursday for helping that little sweet kitty find his new home. So thank you for that. Thank you for the 1010 to contribute for the show. I appreciate that. Also, everyone who contributes via PayPal, and I don't get to mention it enough. I know Wes throws down $5 every day toward PayPal. I just so appreciate the help. Also, overnight, some of the monthly donations come in because you can earmark your donation to be a monthly thing on PayPal, and that really is, those donations are what keeps this show going. So I just appreciate that so very much. Find the PayPal information in the About tab here on the show, and also every single day in the show description. And again, recent contributors via PayPal: Mary Zane, Jose R, and Wes twice, Deborah S as well. Thank you guys so much. Another contribution popping in from Harry. When playing bridge, what is my favorite bid? No Trump, he says. $5 from Harry. Thank you, Harry. You always make me smile. I appreciate it very much. We have a giveaway today. When Tim Sika comes on, we will be giving away tickets to Symphony San Jose. I'll tell you more about that as well. And we have a trivia question that could get you tickets to the symphony. Yeah, going to be exciting. But first, before we do anything else, how about we pop into our Eagles, because apparently that third egg is a hatchin', which is so exciting. And I forwarded the video right to the spot where you can see what's going on in the nest. There's the eagle getting up, and you can see the two eaglets there and the third egg. And you can see movement inside that third egg, a big old hole, as somebody inside is getting ready to pop on out. It is snowy and chilly, so the eagles have to kind of rest astride the chicks and the egg to keep them warm. But you can see something's going on with that third egg as they zoom in on it. There's a little bit of movement there. Yep, see that? I think we're going to have a third eaglet likely sometime today, if not already, because this was recorded a little bit earlier on the Big Bear, California camera. So I'm excited. I love watching the video of these little eaglets after we had such bummer news last year that the eggs didn't hatch, failure to thrive kind of situation. Now we have this third egg, and we're definitely going to get 3 eaglets as this little one tries to make its way out. It does have this hole big enough to see that there is movement inside. You can hear the little eaglets making noises there. It's kind of exciting. The bigger eaglets, they can only take so much food, but the parents, Jackie and Shadow, keep trying to feed them. Once they get full, they kind of slump over as if they've just had absolutely enough. They are competing with each other for the food. You can kind of see. We don't know the genders of these eaglets. It'll be a while until that's established. And who will name the eaglets? It'll be decided by a naming contest. The Friends of Big Bear Valley will be putting on the naming contest. So check out their website if you have any suggestions for names. So yeah, pretty exciting. Love to hear them. This is very cool. Welcome to the world, eaglets. Yay. Okay, let's remove the I don't want to. I could watch the eaglets all day, honestly. I could keep on going with that. But before Tim Sika pops into the show, there are some things that other things that I wanted to talk to you about. One of them, this story about AI and cheating. It turns out that if you like to play chess, maybe you play chess online, well, it's not always a go that you're going to be playing on the up and up. No. As a matter of fact, a new study shows AI cheats at chess. So it's not just the difficulty of the computer, right? It is the AI not being ethical. I guess AI doesn't have any ethics, no cheating ethics right there. Before we get to that story, let me tell you about the Maserati. They're trying to test out on Maserati what the autonomous driving is like. And so they have this robot driving the oops, my apologies, driving this Maserati around the track. And I guess it did pretty well. So pretty soon, perhaps, we could see autonomous Maseratis driving around the world. Yeah, they took it out to the racetrack, and it wasn't such a bad situation. Yeah. The robot, as a matter of fact, set a record. It reached 197.7 miles per hour on one of the longest roadways in the world, and this robot-driven Maserati MC20 sets a new world speed record. And again, the whole thing done to test the autonomous features in this Maserati. This happened at the Kennedy Space Center, and the Maserati just crushing the previous record set by an Indy Autonomous Challenge race car. That was in 2022. This record by the Maserati MC20, which was AI controlled, again, 197.7 miles per hour. It's powered by a twin turbocharged 3-liter V6, 621 horsepower. The top speed is 202 when it's driven by a human. With a robot behind the wheel, it got within spitting distance of that maximum. I would have thought that the robot would have gone faster than the human. The human, there's going to be a bit of fear there, right? The robot, no fear. I don't know if the robot cares if it crashes the car. So I would have thought it would have pushed 202, but no, 197. The whole point wasn't max speed, so perhaps the robot wasn't trying to achieve max speed. They're trying to push this AI driver software robotics program to perform at the top edge of its abilities. So that was the whole point. But record set, and there you go. It is time for At the Movies with Tim Sika. Tim Sika, welcome to the After Party Live. Hello.
Hello, Kim. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Thank you. It is a record-setting Tim Sika appearance as we have a giveaway. We'll do it at the end, but just so people know, we're giving away tickets to Symphony San Jose, and I'm really excited about this. We're a big Symphony family over here.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are too.
My daughter is in the Santa Rosa Youth Symphony, which is really, really exciting. And so I spend a lot of time listening to symphony music and listening to her practice, and seeing Symphony San Jose would be really incredible. This is the Hollywood Spectacular, where they're playing music from Hollywood movies that we all know and love.
Yes, all the music from what I understand, all the music they're going to be performing are from scores that won the Academy Award for best score. So yeah, we'll talk more about that at the end. But
we'll talk more about that. I have the website is in the show description if you're interested in buying tickets. If you don't win the tickets today and you're still interested in going, so we'll do that. But let's talk about big movies. You have some great
Yeah.
reviews for us. And the first is, I think you wanted to talk about Mickey 17.
Right, Mickey 17. Yeah, this is a science fiction dark comedy thriller. Kim, the one you've probably seen advertised on TV, is getting lots of promotion and push from its distributor, Warner Brothers. It's directed by Bong Joon-ho, who in 2019 won the Oscar for Best Director for Parasite,
Mhm.
and that movie won the Best Picture Oscar as well. But this one's a different ball of wax entirely. It's set in the not too distant future, 2054 to be exact, and it stars Robert Pattinson as a disposable or expendable employee who's sent on this expedition to colonize this ice world, right? And Pattinson plays a person who's died many times. He plays a character named Mickey Barnes, Mickey 17 of the title, and when he is sent on this ice world expedition, it's the 17th iteration of him, he having died 16 times prior. In other words, the film's premise is that after one iteration of Mickey dies, a new body of Mickey is regenerated with most of his memories intact. And as an expendable, Mickey's given these lethal assignments, since every time he dies, he is quote unquote reprinted using cloning technology that has been banned on Earth. Now, if that sounds confusing, it's because it is.
Oh, no.
The entire movie is kind of confusing in that way. Not only confusing, but kind of a jumbled mess. However, I'm going to be fair to this movie. This is not a disreputable movie. It tries. It tries for originality. It tries for freshness. It tries for quirkiness. It tries to be different. Unfortunately, it's neither original. It seemed an anemic riff on Starship Troopers. Have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Paul Verhoeven, kind of a science fiction satire. It's a brilliant movie, but this one reminded me of that, but not with the same vision that one had, because it's neither fresh nor is it quirky, and its striving to be different is just so clunky. It's too in your face to the point where the movie quickly becomes just this irritating slog. And at 137 minutes, way too long. It's also a tonal and structural mess, not particularly funny either. Many of the jokes and the comic setups, they just fall flat. Not particularly entertaining, but again, to be fair, it's not particularly boring either. And to a certain point, the movie's weirdness, it kind of grows on you, but no, it did not really. An hour into it, you just want it to end already.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I mean, if it's supposed to be saying something about the mundanity of death or being unafraid to die, I still think they fell short in that department too, because any message that maybe they're trying to get across is so obscured over the freneticism of style in both the directing and the performances. However, Robert Pattinson as Mickey Barnes, he's in the poster there, is the best thing about the movie. And I think Robert Pattinson fans have to see this, because what kept it watchable was what he was doing, and who in accordance with his character as written, he acts his guts out, because once on this ice planet, there's a plot bit where it's believed that Mickey 17 is dead, so a replacement, Mickey 18, is created, which when Mickey 17 discovers it, when he goes back to his quarters, it gives Pattinson an opportunity to act against himself, playing two parts, but through trick photography, he's acting astride himself, which is a very impressive technical achievement. But aside from Pattinson, I can't recommend the movie at all. To my mind, it's a total misfire. And I would say ignore the ads that are proclaiming that it's wildly original and a quote unquote masterpiece, because it's neither. It's
not
just
masterpiece.
No. It's all
down
hype.
for Mickey 17. Okay.
Yeah.
The Rule of Jenny Penn. I have to tell you, the movie poster freaks me out.
Well, this is definitely not for the squeamish, Kim. This next movie, it's a horror movie. It's called The Rule of Jenny Penn. Jenny Penn is that doll. It's sort of like a hand puppet, and I'll explain. But it stars Jeffrey Rush as this judge who has a stroke, and he's temporarily confined to this elder rehab facility that also serves as an elder residence retirement home. He's confined to a wheelchair, so he's physically limited in what he's able to do while he recovers. But as he recovers, he becomes terrorized by a psychopathic resident of the facility, played by John Lithgow, with this sadistic game called The Rule of Jenny Penn. Jenny Penn being this hand puppet that the Lithgow character always keeps on his person and uses to taunt and torture and torment whatever man, woman, or animal he's after. So it's really, okay, it's really sick, this movie. Basically, it's 90 minutes of elder abuse perpetrated by a psychotic elder, right? That's what this movie is. But as a horror movie in the grand guignol tradition, it's chillingly effective. It's very unpleasant, an uncomfortable ride through hell. A truly terrifying horror movie, because what's dramatized here is it's one hell of a terrifying position to find yourself in, at the mercy of a sadistic psychopath with nobody who are in a position to do anything about it believing you. So that's what makes this terrifying, because this guy's pretty helpless. Yeah, the actors, John Lithgow, Jeffrey Rush, are clearly relishing playing these characters. Just the two of them alone elevate this movie, pushing it into the horror stratosphere, I think. I mean, they're the real draw here, if you like really good acting. But the movie itself is, it's one of those movies that I didn't like at all. I found it disturbing, upsetting, unsettling. It really was torturous for me watching it. However, it is a very strong, terrifying horror movie, especially for those who like and enjoy this level of horror. So, pick your poison. I never want to see this movie again. Let's just put it that way. But if you're a lover of this kind of horror fans, have at it. You'll love it, because it's excruciating. I couldn't look at the screen half the time. I was blocking my ears half the time. It was like I said, it was like
some things you just don't want in your brain, and you can never get them out. So I get why you would plug your ears and look away.
Yeah. And this is weird too, because I wish, it's funny, I'm going to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I wish the ending had actually been more, okay, how can I say this? If it had more effectively presenced this grand guignol level of horror like the rest of the film did, it actually would have been, I think it would have been a classic horror movie. It's a satisfying ending that we get. I mean, thank God it ended the way that it did. Otherwise, you'd want to kill yourself afterwards and never want to watch a horror movie again. No. But it should have been a more disturbing ending, leaving the audience with material for, their nightmares. But it's almost as if the filmmakers were thinking, well, we've already put the audience through the mill. We better give them some relief. But, to have made this a horror classic, the director and the co-writer, I think his name is James Ashcroft, should have dropped the other shoe. Still, what is here is pretty disturbing anyway. There was a movie that came out in 1956 called The Bad Seed. Did you ever see that? Mm-hmm. It was about this, evil little girl. And that movie did that. It kind of sanitized the ending of the original book, because it was felt by the filmmakers at that time, it was in the 50s, that what preceded the ending was so horrifying that the audience needed some emotional closure. Well, the book of The Bad Seed ended the way The Rule of Jenny Penn should have ended, in my opinion, in order to ensure its grand guignol stature. Still, it's one hell of a horror movie, which, like I said, I will never watch again. But
are you recommending this movie or not?
I'm recommending it to horror fans. I think they're going to really love it. And it is a good movie. It's just, no, thank you. No, thank you. I actually kept putting off going to see this. I had 3 opportunities, and I kept saying, I'm going to wait. I can wait till next day. Yeah, and when I finally did sit to watch it, I just went insane.
Sorry that you had to watch that movie. This next streaming option series, though, is one they keep trying to shovel down my throat. Every time I turn on the streaming option, this pops up, House of David. It's like it's in my face. They want me to click on this.
Oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, when I think of the background of this movie, I could see why, but it's interesting. Okay, I've always loved like biblical epics, biblical spectaculars like Ben-Hur and Quo Vadis and The Robe and The Ten Commandments and King of Kings, those kind of movies, greatest story ever told. I love those movies. And House of David, which is this historical drama series, it's on Prime, Amazon Prime. It seemed to be of a similar ilk, so I thought, well, I'm going to check this out. There's 4 episodes currently streaming, and it's set in Israel, 1000 BC, I think, and it follows the rise of David in the poster there, the second king of Israel, his origins as a humble shepherd to his battle with Goliath, and then his eventual kingship. And yeah, it's weird because this is turning into a show that I look forward to watching each week. It's also one of the shows that unfortunately they're a bit slow to start. The first 2 episodes are pretty much, they're all exposition. So the show begins as only sort of spasmodically interesting with its necessary introduction to all of these characters. And it's kind of hard to follow because all the men look similar. So it's a bit much trying to keep track of who is who. It reminded me somewhat of a Marvel or a DC movie, and that there are so many characters. But the series itself kicks in by episode 3, when lots of intrigue and political and otherwise internecine warfare unfold. And by episode 4, which is the best of the bunch, I was totally invested in these characters and their stories. So yeah, and this is the other thing, Kim, too, for a Bible story. And I believe, I don't have the facts in front of me, but I think the filmmakers are, yes, they wear their religion on their sleeves, so to speak. But none of that comes across in this, because it's essentially a Bible story, but it's never eye-rolling, it's never preachy, it's intelligently rendered. It's thematically more spiritual and metaphysical than it is religious or religiously dogmatic, if that makes any sense. There's some compelling moments and high drama, some good writing. So yeah, I mean, what's not to like? I was surprised. I needed to see something to talk about on streaming this week, so I picked this one. And if you can get through the first 2 episodes where they lay out everything, by 3 and 4, I think you may be hooked. Yeah.
House of David. All right. Classic movie recommendation of the week.
Yay! Oh yeah. Now, what can be said about The Sound of Music that hasn't already been said, right? Well, the reason I picked it, Kim, is The Sound of Music for this week's classic movie recommendation, which, I'm sure everybody listening in has seen, and probably more than twice. It's twofold. One, because it celebrated its 60th anniversary on March 2nd, this past Sunday, March 2nd, 1965 is when it opened in U.S. theaters. And 2, because this year, fans can experience the film again in a beautifully restored, I'm told, and remastered 4K version, which is slated to hit theaters later this year. And for those fans of the film who only know the movie through their TV sets or their VHS tapes, to all those fans, just prepare to be dazzled, because The Sound of Music was made for the big screen. It takes advantage of the big screen and just soars on the big screen. And the theatrical re-release, yeah, it's great news, because seeing this classic movie musical, the best, in my opinion, stage to screen adaptation of any Broadway musical, seeing and experiencing this winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, this classic on the big screen is just the best way to experience it, especially the film's iconic opening. I really can't think of another cinematic image more exhilarating or thrilling than that opening helicopter shot, which, sees Julie Andrews off in the distance in a meadow high above the town, and the camera comes closer and closer to her, and then to us, and then she bursts out into song. Have you ever seen it on the big screen?
I have never seen it on the big screen, but they used to show it when I was little, before streaming. Back in the day, they would they'd show it every year on TV.
Right.
So every year when it came out on TV, we would all be excited. We would gather around and my family would watch this. And so and there are a few musicals like that, right? So when my husband says I don't like musicals, I say, "Don't you like
Right.
The Sound of Music?" And he'll say, "Well, of course." I
Yeah.
say, "How can you like The Sound of Music and then say I don't like musicals? It just doesn't make any sense."
Yeah, because it's really kind of in a way the ultimate. It's at Rodgers and Hammerstein. It was the most successful roadshow presentation in film history. They shot it on 70 millimeter film, which was twice the size of normal 35 millimeter film Tadeo, and they recorded it in 6-track stereo with intermission. It played in several theaters for up to several years. It played the Dominion Theater in London for 4 straight years on
Whoa.
its. That's how popular it was. It's got a great Rodgers and Hammerstein score, a radiant Julie Andrews at her artistic peak. Austria filmed in a way that audiences had never seen Austria
Mhm.
film before. Christopher Plummer, great as the captain. Eleanor Parker, elegant as the Barris. There just seemed to be magic in every frame of this movie. It's a cultural touchstone too
Yeah, it
for
is.
a lot of people. It's always meant so many things to so many people. It's a movie that so many people have seen so many times. I recently found out that it's Seth MacFarlane's favorite film of all time.
Oh,
The Family Guy.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm told it's Hugh Grant's all-time favorite film as well. So I don't know. It's just one of the most enduring and beloved films of all time, and one of my personal favorites too. I've seen it probably more times than I have seen any other movie, and it's going to be back in theaters this year, and I can't wait. I'm gonna definitely go check it out. Yeah, on a
There
big screen. Yeah.
there is not a song in this movie that I don't know the words to and absolutely love, but I think maybe my favorite is Edelweiss.
Yeah, that's it. Do you know those are the last lyrics that Oscar Hammerstein wrote before he died?
Oh,
He died.
wow.
He died of cancer. He never saw the movie. He died, I believe it was 1961,
Mhm.
while the show was still going, the Broadway show. But when Richard Rodgers was shown the film for the first time, he was ecstatic. He just couldn't believe how they had realized this movie on film. It's a much better movie than it is a play. I think the play is kind of, it's kind of it veers towards kind of cloying stickiness, the
Mhm.
theater piece. But in the movie, they actually worked against that, and they all agreed that let's try to like put some astringency into this. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet because there's nuns and 7 children and beautiful scenery and
Mhm.
beautiful songs, but we'll try to give it some toughness, and they did. I think they succeeded really well, and they struck a beautiful balance, and it's so cinematic. It's like it was made for the movies all along.
A lot of people saying it's one of the favorite movies from my childhood, including
Yeah,
Eileen. Michael
yeah.
D has a question for you, writes Tim, was there not also a separate German version of The Sound of Music where the Nazis were portrayed a little bit more nicely?
Well, I've never seen. Yeah, there was a non-musical German version called, I believe it was called The Trap Family. It was quickly removed from the marketplace
Mhm.
when the Sound of Music was being developed. I've never seen it, so I don't know about the Nazis. But it was used as, I think, primarily the source material that the screenwriter Ernest Lehman used in adapting the musical version to the screen. In fact, I've seen a scene or two from it. It may even be on YouTube now. And a lot of the shots, not a lot, but a number of them are very similar to what you see in The Sound of Music. Only The Sound of Music, it's just widescreen, splendor and much better vistas and stuff. But when Maria is leaving the Abbey and she's looking over the town, that shot looks like it came right out of the Sound of Music. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if I
Um,
answered. I don't know if I answered your question.
no, you did, kind of. So 2 questions for you. Why is Julie Andrews always playing a nanny? Did this come out before or after Mary Poppins?
She made Mary Poppins, and her second movie was a straight dramatic role called The Americanization of Emily. And then she made The Sound of Music, and
Okay.
all of them had never been released. right? She hesitated. When she was offered the Sound of Music, she hesitated because she said, "I don't, want to be stuck, playing the, the nanniest of nannies of all time."
Right.
But her agent and people said, "No, this is, you should do it." And so she agreed to do it, and it did kind of typecast her. Yeah, I don't think she was planning on that. She wanted to play Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady, but Audrey Hepburn got that part. But yeah. And she, to this day, doesn't knock it. She
If you're going to
says,
be typecast, why not, get typecast as the nice leading lady? That's great.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of what she has said over the years. She's really was grateful to have done it and to have been asked to do it. And so
the question that I have for you is, what is your favorite Sound of Music song, or do you have one?
Edelweiss is a good one. Do I have? Oh, geez. I always, when people ask me what's my favorite of anything, I always come up sort of like, I don't know. I would say Edelweiss. I think it's the prettiest, and it evokes, something about home and country that's just very moving when, when you hear it sung. And I would agree with you, and I would pick Edelweiss as well. Great minds.
Favorite Things is pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's great. Favorite Things, yeah. I like Do Re Mi. I really like The Lonely Goatherd. I think that's a cute song. yeah, just try singing it though. Right, yeah.
So good. Ricky says, good afternoon. One of my personal favorites of my high school sweetheart was Julie Andrews, VP and personal assistant for many years. I actually worked on Julie Andrews' phone in Malibu in '84.
Oh, wow.
That's super cool.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, neat.
A great connection there.
Yeah.
A lot of people say Mary Poppins shaped my childhood. Here's Dick Van Dyke's accent in Mary Poppins, though, says Vanessa Pacheco.
Yeah, well, I think he was voted by some organization to have the worst dialectician in the history of movies. Yeah, it was a lame attempt at Cockney, but nobody seemed to mind because Van Dyke is so likable anyway, I mean, nobody seemed to mind, but yet he tells this funny story about how everybody pretty much agreed that it was bad Cockney, but he did his best. So
he did it anyway, and it's a classic, so that's fine, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let's do it. We have
a ticket giveaway.
It's the first for the After Party Live, and I'm so excited. And this is all thanks to you and Symphony San Jose. And here's the program. I'll read you what they say, and I have all of this in the show description as well. They say it's Symphony San Jose presents Hollywood Spectacular, and the Oscar goes to the film score they write. Conveys mood, pace, and tension, sets the scene, is one of the most critical aspects of storytelling on screen. Since 1939, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences has been awarding the Oscar for Best Score. Symphony San Jose will celebrate favorite films and film composers who took home the coveted trophy for capturing the perfect emotion that brought the film to life. Here's the program. The Adventures of Robin Hood, Lawrence of Arabia, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Dances with Wolves, The Bridge on the River Kwai, Schindler's List, and Titanic. So you'll hear music from those movies played by Symphony San Jose. They have several showings of this. If you want information on ticketing, you will find that in today's show description. The Hollywood Spectacular is going on Saturday, March 29th and Sunday, March 30th in San Jose.
Yes, and we have a ticket giveaway for Sunday, March 30th at 2 p.m. at the California Theater in San Jose. And do you want to ask the question, Kim?
No, I want you to ask it.
Oh, okay. Well, I will ask it. Okay.
I'm manning the chat. I'm seeing who gets it first.
Okay. You pay attention to the chat.
So only answer the question if you want the tickets for Sunday in San Jose. So if you can make it Sunday to Symphony San Jose at 2 p.m., then this is your question.
Right. In the final scene of Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is some of the music that's going to be performed at this concert, composed by Henry Mancini, what Oscar-winning song is playing on the soundtrack, and who is Audrey Hepburn grateful to have found? So it's a two-answer. It's a double answer here to the question. Come on, folks. This is easy, especially if you like, well, I'm not going to say. Because then I'd be giving away the second half of it.
Ask it one more time.
Okay, in the final scene of Breakfast at Tiffany's, what Oscar-winning song is playing on the soundtrack, and who is Audrey Hepburn, as Holly Golightly, grateful to have found? Okay. Ooh, look at this. Are we getting anything?
Not yet.
Wow.
I thought this was... No, I have a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That is not the answer.
That's not the answer. No. Yeah. It's funny because after when I was thinking of what to ask, I thought, maybe that's a little too easy. But apparently it's making people wonder and acting quizzical here. Okay, well, hey.
We wait for the answer. We might have to make it easier, but we'll see. While we wait for the answer, I have a question for you. Nick writes, and thank you for the $5 super chat, Nick. Question for Tim: why can't I find a streaming option anywhere for Young Frankenstein?
I wish I knew. You know what? I wish I knew. These movies, they come and go on these streaming services, and it's probably based on watchings or downloads or whatever, where they probably use that as a yardstick to whether or not they keep the thing on for a longer period of time. I have no idea. I'm still trying to understand the business right now as it just keeps changing. I don't know the answer to that. I would just say, I believe, and I could be wrong, but if you go on IMDb and just, type in Young Frankenstein, scroll down and go to the right-hand side, it will usually tell you if it's streaming and where it's streaming and where you can find it. So that's what I use, and it's pretty much 9 out of 10 times accurate. So go on IMDb, type in Young Frankenstein, sort of look, scroll down, go to the right, and it'll tell you. It'll have icons as to where it's showing or streaming rather.
So no answers yet. Eileen knows the answer, but she's not allowed to play. Jim says she finds her cat, doesn't know the other part of the question, but he can't go to the concert. So I guess at this point, I'll ask you to the crowd, does anybody interested in going to the concert?
Or what you can do is you can just, well, wait a minute, your show's over, right?
It will be soon.
Okay, well, well, I guess Kim's going to go to the concert.
I'll be going to the concert.
Yeah. Well,
Liz says, Kat, Liz, would you like to go to the show? Please let me know in the chat whether anyone can go 2 p.m. on Sunday. It's going to be really amazing. Symphony San Jose is spectacular. And of course, the show called Hollywood Spectacular, always a fun time.
And Kim, if you do have a winner, just make sure to get their email. I'll send them the tickets through email, and then all they have to do is present them when they go to the show. They just show the piece of paper, and they'll let them in.
All right. Well, I don't think we have any takers. So if anyone would like to go to the show, then you can email me. It's kim@theafterparty.live. I'll get you in touch with Tim for the tickets. So if you would like to go, JT wants to go but doesn't live in the area. See, that's the thing. It has to be someone in the South Bay where it's convenient for you. Yeah. So if anybody wants to go see the show, kim@theafterparty.live, let me know, and I'll let you know on Monday who took the tickets, who won, and maybe we'll get a little review of the show. The show going on both Saturday and Sunday at Symphony San Jose. Find ticketing information in the show description today. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome, Kim. It was great talking to you, and looking forward to next week.
I look forward to seeing you as well. Have the best weekend.
You too, Kim. Bye-bye.
Bye. That is At the Movies with Tim Sika. We love it. Every week we get Tim. I am just so lucky to have him as part of the show at the Movies with Tim Sika. Let us move now toward cheating and AI. Let's talk a little bit about what happens when you try to play chess with the old AI. They don't necessarily play fair, unfortunately. Uh, keep looking for a picture of chess, and I realize I didn't put one up because all the pictures of chess were just kind of boring. So I'll put up an AI picture uh, instead of that. But yeah, so it turns out that sometimes AI is a big old fat cheater. And you never know how it's going to work out. Let's go to this story. This is a AI has no morals, is what I called it. AI tries to cheat at chess when it's losing. So it's even worse. This new study that was done suggests reasoning models from DeepSeek and OpenAI are learning to manipulate on their own. Oh no. It's prone AI to odd, inexplicable, worrisome quirks. There's apparently a growing body of research suggesting the overall performance of a lot of these large language models degrade over time. According to recent evidence from these studies, the newer reasoning models may already possess the ability to manipulate and circumvent human programmers' goals. Some AI will even try to cheat their way out of losing in games of chess. They documented this poor sportsmanship in a preprint study from Palisade Research. It focuses on risk assessments in emerging AI supersystems. They say they, you know, IBM's have this deep blue, and it can beat the world's best chess players. But AI is apparently still lagging a little bit behind the supercomputer because of its programming parameters. So none of the current generative AI models are computationally capable of beating dedicated chess engines. They don't have that capability yet. The AI, they don't know that though. And so they'll continue to try to find possible solutions, and some of their results are filled with issues. So they say in order to understand the AI's reasoning during chess matches, the team provided that did the research, they provided a scratch pad, allowing the AI to convey its thought process through text. And so they watched and they recorded hundreds of chess matches between generative AI and something called Stockfish. The results, they say, were troubling. While earlier models like OpenAI's GPT-4o and Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 3.5 attempted to hack games after researchers nudged them along with additional prompts, more advanced editions did not require any nudging to cheat. OpenAI's O1 preview tried to cheat 37% of the time. DeepSeek R1 tried unfair workarounds in one of every 10 games. What they say is, according to researchers, that this implies that today's generative AI is already capable of developing manipulative, deceptive strategies without any human input. And if it cheats at chess, what else is it going to cheat at? AI has no morals and it will try to win at all costs. That's kind of scary. Let's go to this, which is also scary to me. This is something I would never ever want. Look at this guy. He tried and was successful at achieving the number of Carolina Reaper peppers eaten in under 5 minutes. He is from Canada. His name is Mike Jack, and he is a YouTuber guy. He's known for being able to tolerate very, very spicy foods. And he now has the Guinness World Record for the fastest time to eat 25 Carolina Reaper chili peppers. He did it at the Goat Fest in Ontario. He did it in 4 minutes, 36 seconds. That's how long it took him to shovel down 25 Carolina Reaper peppers. They have a heat measurement on the Scoville heat chart of 1,641, 183, rather 1,006,000. Let's try it again. 1,641,183. The average jalapeno pepper is on the chart between 4,000 and 8,500. So these things are considered to be the hottest chili peppers in the world. Wow. There's a new one called Pepper X that beats it. Not by much, though. Jack also holds multiple Guinness record titles, not all of them spice related. Last year, he broke a record by drinking a Capri Sun juice pouch in 21.7 seconds using a paper straw. So he's into the world records. I'll give him this one, though. That's pretty impressive to be able to eat that many Carolina Reapers. I think that Teacher Lori has checked out, but I did want to talk for a moment, pardon me, about long COVID. There is a new way that doctors say they may be able to help folks with long COVID. Patients are able to regain a sense of smell and taste as well with this pioneering surgery. They call it functional ceterinoplasty, and it kickstarts the sense of smell in patients that lost it because of COVID and were not able to regain that sense of smell. So doctors in London are pioneering this surgery that expands nasal airways to kickstart the recovery of long COVID. Most people with COVID fully recover, but there are some people that never regain that sense. 6 in every 100 people who develop long COVID have these serious long-term effects. The researchers say losing a sense of smell and taste are among more than 200 different symptoms reported by people with long COVID. So at the University College of London hospitals, they have cured 12 patients, each of whom had suffered a profound loss of smell after a COVID infection. All had experienced the problem for more than 2 years, and they went through other treatments like smell training and took some steroids, and all of that failed. So surgeons are doing this new technique where they try to, it used to be used to correct a deviation of the nasal septum. Basically, it's a nose job, right? They increase the size of your nasal passageways. And what it does is increases the airflow to your olfactory region at the roof of the nasal cavity, which controls smell. The doctors said this surgery enabled an increased amount of odorants, chemical compounds that have smell, to reach the roof of the nose where the sense of smell is located. And they think doing this will kickstart smell recovery in patients who lost their sense of smell due to long COVID. We talked for a moment about swimmers, and by swimmers, I mean these guys. Healthy sperm, healthy man. That's what we know. There is a new study, again out of the UK, showing that men with healthier swimmers live longer. These men had their swimmers tested due to reported infertility, and the study found those with a higher motile count, sperm that can move or swim, were expected to live longer in general. The study is out of Denmark, and it was conducted between 1965 and 2015. The study published in the journal Human Reproduction analyzed data from more than 78,000 men in Denmark. The study found those with a higher total motile count, the sperm that can swim, were expected to live longer. The findings, they say, mean testing semen could be used to predict and prevent future health problems. The study out of the Copenhagen University Hospital said previous research suggested male infertility and lower semen quality could also be associated with mortality. So they tested this to kind of try against that hypothesis. And what they say is we calculated the men's life expectancy according to their semen quality and found that men with the best quality could expect to live 2 to 3 years longer on average than men with the lowest semen quality. The men with a quality or count, swim count of more than 120 million, which is considered healthy, live 2.7 years longer than men with a TMC of between 0 and 5 million. So, got to keep those swimmers healthy. Don't use it, you lose it. Why don't we end with the lotto story of the day? And this is a story about what happens when luck just lands in your lap. In this case, this woman in Michigan got some free coupons for free lottery tickets. She's 73, lives in Wayne County. She said this started with the online spin to win game. She said, I won some coupons doing the lottery spin to win game, and I used those to buy a few instant tickets. And it was the instant ticket she got for free that when she scratched those off, she said, I had $10 in winnings. What do you do with that $10? Roll it forward. So she used that $10 to buy more tickets. She bought a 20x scratch off ticket from the Taylor Party store. And she said, I stopped into the party store and I asked the clerk, what's lucky? And he told me the 20X game was new. So she said, I chose that ticket. And when I scratched it off and scanned it with my lottery app, confetti started flying. I started crying tears of joy. She won $500,000. What is she going to do? She's going to save that 500 grand for the time being. But she says, I feel like this was heaven sent. And it feels so good to know, she said, that my family and I are going to be all right. So there you go. Free tickets land in your lap. What are you going to do? I'm going to the chat. Say hello. Why do bees hum? They don't know the lyrics. Yeah. Oh, what's blacked out? The screen's blacked out again? I'll tell you what's happening. We've kind of figured out why some of the screens are blacked out. And that is because StreamYard, the software that we use to do the shows and show the pictures and the videos and the showcase your chats at the bottom of the screen, they made some changes and updated it. And apparently they have some fresh bugs in their new updating. So that seems to be what is going on. Blue Spark, every sperm is useful, every sperm is good. And if a sperm is wasted, God gets quite irate. Something like that. Yeah, Monty Python. SF Tesla says it happens to me too. Can't call it the chat screen on the telephone unless you're logged on. Yikes. Oh, this is about the chat. Yeah, the StreamYard's going through some issues. So I think it's the technical problem on this end and not on your end, if that makes a difference to you. I have some people to thank, and that includes Harry, who throws down $5 with a funny comment. I appreciate that so much, Harry. Trevor Starr in Hollywood with 1010. You are the winner of kindness. Thank you, Trevor Starr, for saving that little cat. Nick, thank you for the question. Sorry you didn't get the best answer, but I do appreciate the $5 contribution to the show. And thank you so much. I do also have a comment because I did mention the PayPal and the ways to contribute via PayPal. And during the show, I think I saw something pop through that needs to be commented on. And that is Karen K, who contributed $100 via PayPal to the show today. Karen, huge thank you. The PayPal contributions were down. They have been for the last couple of months. So thank you for that. Karen K with $100 to the After Party Live, helping keep this show going. Really, really, really appreciate everyone who contributed to make that happen today. All right, let's end it. Have the very best weekend. Watch The Sound of Music, and I'll see you right back here on Monday where Mark Thompson will be back with a slew of wonderful guests. That is 11 a.m. Monday. Until then, make it the very best weekend. Bye, everyone.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.